People are not going to look after their own kids. I've seen it. People are really dumb.
I would never, under any circumstances, leave a child unsupervised with a dog. It takes doing it wrong one time for it to change everything. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be at in this beautiful world of ours. I am Jared with Species Canine with the podcast today. And as always, I got the wonderful Taylor with me. How are you, ma'am?
Pretty good. I can't walk upstairs today.
Yeah, it happens.
But at least we can both say we never skip leg day.
True that. I did train legs today this morning as well at 6 a.m. So what's on the agenda today?
Well, apparently we're talking both about introducing kids to dogs and introducing dogs to kids.
Yes. There's a difference.
There's a difference, apparently.
There is. I think there is. I'm sure there's going to be people out here who disagree, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's a concerning subject. So I pulled up some stats. Dog bites in the U.S., children make up far more than half. It's between like 51 to 70% is estimated to be children. And kids from the ages of 1 to 5 are the most at risk.
They're eye level, face level for sure, right there. And younger kids under the age of 1 are definitely going to be smaller than most average size dogs. They have that opportunity for that prey drive a little bit. Kids running. I remember I got bit as a kid. I was probably 6 and on my neighbor's dog right in the ass.
Okay. You also got bit by a horse.
Yeah, I was good with my horse too.
Yeah, that's the first rule. So I don't have kids. But I think you and I were talking about the difference between going like this to a dog versus going like this. You were mentioning that you basically coached your daughter, right?
Even before I brought her home from the hospital, I wanted my dogs to understand that a new person was coming into the house and introduced her smells. So I actually had one of the blankets that she was wrapped in, and I let all the dogs smell it just to get used to that smell. And they're smelling and they're kind of sniffing and trying to figure out just encourage them. Good girl, good boy, loving up on them and just talking to them, right? Like, I know they don't understand. So the first time they smell her, it's not like, oh, what's this? This is a brand new thing, right? So I did that first. And then I did it by one. Once I brought her actually home. And Igor, my pit bull, he knew when my wife was pregnant with her, like he would like put his head on her stomach and would like sniff her and things like that. And I'm like, oh, that's the baby, just love up on her and things like that. And he kind of knew. So I know that he understood a lot more when he smelled that. Like he knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And then they're best friends today. Like they play and like, she puts his blankets on him and tucks him in at night and kisses him and stuff like that. And just loves up on him. He loves it. He loves the attention. He loves to get the pets and things like that. But that's what I did in to start that process of them understanding a new smell. So it wasn't really a shock to them when they first smelled her. And then as she kind of started getting a little older, maybe about a year of age or so, maybe a little younger, when she's holding her head up, she could look around and kind of like interact with them. I would give her treats to just like toss to the dogs. And she thought that was funny. She's always thought that was hilarious, tossing treats to the dogs. And so I would put like give them a command, like sit command, down command, something like that. And she would toss treats. So I started setting that precedence of little human controls things that I want, which is the definition of dominance, right? I need to respect little human, because I might not get my treats and little human provides these things. So I set that precedence very, very early with them and that understanding.
Yeah. And I think the point about showing the dog that resources are controlled by you is something a lot of people miss, right? So we always say the number one cause of dog bites on family members in the home is over resting places, right? And people like to get all hot and bothered about when we talk about, some dogs can't be on the couch. Some dogs can, some dogs can't. And when you got kids especially, that's where things kind of get in the realm of you can't make a mistake. I have the statistics pulled up. Kids are a lot more likely to need plastic surgery if they get in a dog bite, and one of the reasons is they're small. So if they're getting bit in the head and neck area. It's like 67% of dog bites on kids is in the head and neck area. That's pretty scary. And there's different scenarios where it can happen, right? So if you've got the situation where there's no clear boundaries to your child, and the kid thinks it's okay to climb on the dog or try and ride on the dog like a horse or pull the dog's ears, you can get a fear bite, or you can get a "I'm in pain, stop it" bite, and a lot of parents don't see that, and it becomes the dog's fault, and the dog needs to go to the pound, right?
Mm.
When in reality, it could be prevented by establishing those clear boundaries, or if your child is too young to understand those, not leaving your child unsupervised around the dog.
Yeah, I would never, under any circumstances, leave a child unsupervised with a dog,
Hmm.
uh, and no matter what size, no matter what age, till the child is probably 8, because you just never know. If you go wrong at any point in time, and then it's all downhill from there. Especially if you
Yeah.
get a bad bite, then you're gonna go to the hospital, and then that's gonna be investigated. I was gonna go into quarantine. Potential, criminal activity could be charged against the parents for child neglect and all these other things. Don't even risk it. I use the analogy before. I used to do a lot of rock climbing back home in California. You could do it right 1,000 times. It takes doing it wrong one time for it to change everything. So never leave your kids alone with your dogs unsupervised. Because again, you can have a situation where the child just takes off running and that prey drive kicks in, and all of a sudden, bam.
I was gonna say, actually, the in this study, German Shepherds are responsible for the highest number of injuries to kids, and I'm thinking that that's probably because in many of these scenarios, the kid is running around, and small thing running fast, well, it's prey
Yep.
to a dog with high prey drive. The other thing is, like, when you see these horrific news articles, right, where a dog kills a kid, a lot of the time they say something like, "It came out of nowhere."
Mhm.
The dogs went off. And we said this in our dominance video. That is a huge sign of dominance aggression, because people don't think like dogs do. So when a dog thinks that they're the one running the show, they think that they're the ones that need to control their resting places, their food, their toys, and other people's attention. Then if they want to do that, they use their teeth. They want to control those things. Let's say, okay, you got a dog. Dog thinks that mommy is his. This is my mommy. Nobody else goes by mommy. And so he's cuddling with mommy on the couch. It's also his couch, by the way. Then the little kid goes and wants to go climb in mommy's lap. Dog has dominance aggression. Nope, this is my mommy. Bite. All of this can be avoided if you understand dominance and leadership, appropriate boundaries, and how your dog sees things. They don't see things like you do.
Yeah, kind of a quick, like, little side note. Like, last week, I was invited out to Fuzzy Friends Rescue to just do a quick little 15-20 minute, like, little Q&A and lecture about, like, dog language, body language. And I played some different videos and things of dog bites and stuff. And, these subtleties of the calming signals and things to warn off on a bite are so slight, right? So if your kid's walking up to a dog and it starts tongue flicking, stop. It's not trying to lick you. Like, that's a calming signal. So working on those things, and then, like you talked about, the petting, teaching the kid to be nice, soft pets, don't go over top of the dog, stay nice and low. You're gonna have a lot better success in keeping everybody safe.
Yeah. And the other side of it that I think people should have a plan for is like advocating for your dog. We talked about this before. Not everybody has to pet your dog. If you want, nobody has to pet your dog. But maybe you're around kids, like maybe you're at a park walking and the parents aren't there. I've had this happen to me. And a little kid wants to run up and pet your dog, and they're either not old enough to understand, or no, just nobody told them to ask, right? You need to advocate for your dog, especially if you've got a dog that is reactive. They need to understand you've got it. Practice putting your dog in a sit and being able to walk and stand in front of them, whatever. Call the parent, tell the kid, nope, no thank you, go away. I had once where we were at a restaurant and it was puppy Bowie before her very bad aggression issues. And there was this little girl that was playing with like a bucket. And then she took the bucket and she went, "You're a princess." And she went to try and put the bucket on Bowie's head. and Bo was real small. I just scooped her up, and I was like, "Nope, you don't do that. You don't put things on donkeys' heads." But it's like you need to be aware that like other people are not gonna look after their own kids. I've seen it. People are really dumb.
Yeah, you gotta speak up because at the end of the day, if your dog bites somebody, it's you. You're gonna be blamed. Your dog's gonna be blamed. Yeah, I had a similar situation. I was out at a park training with a client dog. Actually, it was the German Shepherd walking, and this little boy, probably 3, maybe 4, just comes running up to us. And when he got about 10 feet away, I realized, okay, yeah, he's running up. He wants to have the dog. And kind of almost like at the last minute, like I just stepped in front of him and the dog, and like I just stopped him. And I told the client, I kneeled down. I said, "Hey, look, buddy, you don't run up to dogs like that. You're gonna get bit." And like his big brother, like him running over, he's like maybe 10 or 11. Like, where's the parents at this scenario, right? Like, but I'm like, hey, you need to let them know, do you don't run up to like dogs like that. That's a great way just to, get bit, so you send him on his way. But there was a complete scenario where that kid's parents were nowhere to be found. Like you said, you don't have to let your dog be pet by somebody. And when I'm training, I always tell everybody who asks, "Oh, can I pet the dog?" "No, sorry, we're training right now." And 99% of the time, everyone's really cool with that. Like, "Oh, okay, thanks." So I always just use that. Even if you're not trained, just you're training.
When we were in Chicago, me and Bowie went for a run, and this old Polish lady, she's like walking down the sidewalk real slow. So I went into the street to let her go. She looks at me, she goes, "Friendly?" And I'm like, "No, I'm sorry." Cause Bowie's like in a perfect heel, and she's like, like, "No, sorry." And we're walking away, and it's like moments like that it's very nice to have a Ripple. I don't know if you think about this, but like I often think of Ripple as like my guilt dog. So whenever somebody wants to, well, pet the dog, like Ripple, put him on the chopping block because he's so good with everybody. It's just nice sometimes to have that dog that is just so good in public with anybody, and you can trust him to an extent.
Yeah, no, I see it all the time. Like obviously I have a lot of high drive dogs. Like Lego, my German Shepherd, he's a really good boy. Like he's been around a lot of people and I had no issues with him. I never had like purposeful aggression from Taliana on people or anything like that. It's just she's a lot. She has a lot of energy. So it's just
Mhm.
better for me not to even like let her be around people. Lego, yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah, he hangs out and wants to stuff. But he gets a little, a little playful. He's a big guy.
That's why I think Labradors are just so underrated as a dog breed. It's just the best friend that you could ever have. You can take them anywhere. They're great family dogs. Our childhood lab, it was like she instinctively understood more fragile people. Like she would be more gentle with old people, if that makes sense.
I think their gentleness like that, I think that just comes from the hunting retrieving aspect of having a really soft bite. If you have a retriever, right, you're hunting ducks. You don't want your dog running over like grabbing this duck and just mangling it with a bite. No, they want a really soft bite, really calm demeanor, not
Yeah.
overly excitable and things like that.
That would be a great video. If you have like young kids, but you want to get a family dog, what are some good breeds? Labrador, 1000% would be on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was gonna do that, just an old shelter dog. It's a good old mutt.
Yeah. Also, feeding and sleeping. So dogs don't need to be around kids when they're eating. Kids don't need to touch dogs when they're eating. Really good thing to do is like if you have a laundry room or a bathroom, like just train the dog like this is where you eat and shut the door. And then when a dog is sleeping, even if they're a really like tolerant dog, if somebody startled me out of sleep, I might, not be so nice waking up. So
Yeah, those good things. And if they're chewing on a bone or they're engaged in a chewing activity, where it's not like play, like, "Oh, here's the ball, let's play fetch," right? And they want to relinquish it, but like, "No, this is mine. It's in my ownership zone. I'm just hanging out, just chewing on this thing or licking my Kong or whatever." Like the child definitely doesn't need to be going in and taking it. If I'm gonna leave it, recall type command comes in. That's a little different than like playing fetch. Like the dog is willingly bringing this back and forth to playing fetch. That's awesome. But also building that relationship with the kid, if you have a child in your home and bring a dog in the home, is have the kid play with them like that, play in that fetch, play in that tug, and do those things and develop that play because that's how dogs naturally bond. They bond through play. It's like my dogs, they eat in the kennels. It's no big deal. The only one that doesn't eat in a kennel is equal.
And if you're in a situation where like maybe you're expecting, it's a really good idea to have the dog obedience trained before your kid comes in your house. As an example, it's not a child, but we're fostering right now a little orphaned kitten. We're waiting for her to get her weight up and all that. And it's been so easy having her in the house because my dogs follow commands, right? And with novel things are so much easier when you have obedience, and it gives you the chance to focus on what you probably need to put more attention and time to at the time, which is the new baby, right?
Yeah,
Less to
absolutely.
worry about.
Yeah, yeah. If you are expecting, like, I have a client that's expecting, and they have two healers, and I told her, like, let him come out and like smell your belly and things like that, and just talk to him like that's the baby, and let him know that's the baby, because they can hear the heartbeat. They start smelling, and you bring home a new scent on a blanket or whatever, and the baby, oh, that's the baby. Remember, we had that conversation last week about smell. Your dog's world is their scent. They're seeing the world through sense. So they smell these things, get that association of baby smell. Oh, that's baby. When I see baby, oh, that's what baby is. I smell baby. I get the connection now. It's all three.
Yeah, I contend that it's very good for kids to grow up with dogs. I think it gives them a lot in the aspect of like caring for something. Like when I was a kid, all of my chores were about taking care of the animals in the house.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah, I already do have my daughter. Just 2.5. We go out and we pick up dog poop, and the kids,
You bond over
yeah,
dog.
you want to go pick up dog poop? She's like, yeah, dog poop. And we'll go outside, and she'll find it for me. She'll, like, I'll be picking stuff up, and she'll be like, dad, poo, poo. She'll find out, come pick it up. Then she'll walk off somewhere else. She'll go toddle somewhere else, and you'll find it. Dad, poo, poo. And it helps me find it. Yeah, but it's all great for the kids. We want to make sure everybody's staying safe and advocating for everybody and set that scenario. So your dog's not self-advocating, especially if a stranger comes up or a strange kid comes up. Now, if you have a friendly dog, that's fine. That's great. Perfect. Let's make sure you stay in control. Because even like a friendly dog can be overly aggressive, like start licking the kid or something like that,
Yeah.
and knock him over. And then it's a bad experience for the kid, right? But yeah, I think it was a good little chat about introduction of dogs to kids and kids to dogs. There's a difference.
It's an important topic. There's a lot that can go wrong.
Yeah, but a lot can go right. Anybody has any ideas for some shows, things we want to talk about, drop it in the comments below. Appreciate everybody out there liking, subscribing. We appreciate the love and support. And until next time, train smart.